If you have lived in America long enough, and if you've worked multiple jobs in these in these white only companies or white controlled companies, whatever you want to call it, you're going to see a couple of things. You're going to see usually, well, you're always going to see the American flag. These people are ridiculously patriotic for a piece of cloth made in China. And they don't even understand what the flag really means. It doesn't really mean what they think it means. It's a secret society flag. That's exactly what it is. I'm not going to go into that. Just a lot of people just don't know how to read and learn things, so I won't waste my time, right? And then they will have the MIA POW flag, prisoners of war. And then you're going to see something that says, "We will never forget, never forget, never forget." 9/11, see? Never forget. Custard, never forget. Wounded Knee, never forget. What's that one that was that ship that was sunk by the Israelis, and you see them, the USS Liberty, I think it was. Never forget. The white man never forgets anything. The white man never forgets anything. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I almost skipped over it. Almost skipped over it. It says never forget and never forgive. Isn't this something? This is amazing that I found that, because this literally encapsulates what is the thinking of the current white man. Seriously. They can talk all nice, they can talk this and they can talk that, especially those of them that walk around and talk about how they are a Democrat progressive. They're for progressive issues, right? They're for the gays. They're for the trans. They're for the illegals. They just love everything and everybody. But yet these are the very same people are literally saying nothing, as Netanyahu is just a madman in Israel. You hear every day what this man is doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people are in line getting food, and they're just dropping bombs on people in line getting food, and you're love everybody. Democrat, white progressive is literally saying nothing. They ain't saying nothing. They'll have a few demonstrations here and there. They have been crashing a couple of congressional hearings, free Palestine, whatever. But for the most part, you don't hear AOC talking about this. Really, you don't. You don't hear none of them coming out and condemning this, because they honestly don't care. Seriously, they don't care. They're not really human. A lot of them are not. A lot of white people are not human. Seriously. They don't have emotions and a capacity to care. A lot of them honestly don't care. But getting back to what I'm saying, it's always never forget when it comes to them. But when it comes to us, it's, why are you still talking about slavery? Every single time this is mentioned, white people all over these comment sections are, why are you talking? You were never a slave. It doesn't matter. The effects of what happened to our people ever since we've been here and in contact with your people has been quite disastrous. I saw a video today. The USDA had to get sued by black farmers because we're all equal, we're all Americans, and all you have to do is stop being a victim and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This is what white people say all the time. And these very same we're all equal white people, God loves everybody, I'm a Jesus loving Christian, they will sit here and they will say nothing as all these black farmers for a long damn time were denied any help from the United States government. All the white farmers got all kinds of help. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about that. This is not 100 years ago. This is within our time right now. But America is such a free place, right? We are not supposed to forget. Well, we are supposed to forget about the black farmers who are still receiving a terrible shake from this white supremacist government. And it doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, who stood up and said that that was wrong. Who did that? So why are you acting like a victim? Because we have been victimized by your fake white racist government, and we're tired of it. We're tired of the gaslighting. I am really shocked when I still see some of our people still rocking that fake secret society flag. I'm like, y'all don't even know that that is a secret society flag. The red, white, and blue. It's a secret society flag. I learned that a long time ago from a white man named Jordan Maxwell. I know a lot of you have probably heard of Jordan Maxwell. He was kind of like the start of me waking up to the truth about all of this nonsense. Seriously, all of this. Y'all, we are supposed to forget that we still have survivors of the Tulsa bombing that are still alive. These people are in their 90s. They are still alive. I saw there was one of them black women, she was like 100 years old, and how they never got rebuilt, how they never got taken down. This was a black town burned down to the ground in America. And nobody went to jail, and these people were not made whole for what the white racist people did to them. But we are always supposed to forget. White people never forget. And they never want us to learn the truth about what they've done to our people. That's just the way it is. And, closing it out, I just... I understand. It may sound biased, and I really don't care. I understand why a lot of black men are fucking white women. I really do. I really do. I don't consider what they do is treasonous. I don't. You want to know why? Because black women are so horrible in the way they treat us, in the way they're always trying to get in our pockets. The vast majority of our relationships with them is predicated on them always getting in our pockets and taking money out of us. A lot of them are parasites, and they know what time it is, man. They know what time it is. So the black man who have left them alone, they have left them alone because of the treatment. The black woman that deals with white men and marries white men, she's doing this because she's another one. She doesn't care about what these white people have done to her people. She doesn't care that your average white man, even though he may be a nice guy, that is not the issue. None of them are actively trying to repair what was done to us and what has still been doing, what is still going on to us, with us or towards us, whatever you want to call it. None of these people are trying to right the wrong. And yet you as a black woman, You want to lay up and marry into these people. You want to lay up and marry into these people who a lot of their families, there's just so many of these stories. A lot of these families do not accept these relationships. I've been seeing so many of these videos come out by either Only Logical or some of these other channels. A lot of these white, and I don't feel that that's racism. I feel that we need to leave them alone. Seriously. If you ain't about loving your own now, with all this stuff going on, there's something wrong with you. But it is what it is. I can't change nobody. I can only change myself. They will never forget the Alamo. They will never forget 9/11. They will never forget Custard's last stand, right? They will never forget Iwo Jima. They never forget, and they never forgive. But we are supposed to forget it all. And we're just supposed to walk away. And that's it. That's it. You know? That's it. We're not going to discuss all the black towns that were submerged underwater. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about how how many times they would go out there and just lynch us by the hundreds in America. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about all the millions of acres that black Americans had in this country and how white people took it through eminent domain. Officer Tatum is not going to talk about that. The Conservatwins, the fucking, I call them Beavis and Butthead. They're not going to talk about that because they're just retarded. Everything is yucking up and laughing. They're not going to talk about how our people's land was stolen, how land is wealth. They're not going to talk about a plan for them to give it back to us. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Some land has been given back to some individual families within recent years. But the untold damage of these people's evil, they want us to forget about it. And they just want us to open our legs and pleasure them. And that's just not good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good on that bullshit. That's all I got. Tamron Hall, you piece of shit.